Hello everybody, I'm Lance Fleming. I'm sitting down with Bennie Wylie, the Director of Sports Performance here at Primetime Sports. And so just to follow up on our conversation from a few months ago, now we've got a little bit more to talk about, Bennie. And we talked about you in Abilene scene and wrote a piece about you and your family and how you got to Abilene. Well, now you've had some things that have happened since then. They were already happening, but now you can really talk about them. Wednesday night, you're part of a national television show that premieres on NBC called Stronger. You're one of 10 male trainers that are paired with a female that wants to enrich their lives physically, emotionally, and in several different ways. We'll get to that in a minute, but just kind of give us a little update on your life and your primetime sports and how that's going and since we last spoke.
First of all, God is good. That's all I can say is that, we're blessed. We're blessed to be in Abilene, we're blessed to be around such great people in this community that just kind of love on you.
Right.
And so just our move over to prime time has been just a blessing, just things happen. I mean, that's just life, you
Right.
know. And so like in life, you have a choice. You can either, kind of duck your head, or you can do all the things that I've coached all my athletes, over the years to do is just keep moving forward, just keep being positive. Find a way. You
Right.
can't put your head down. There's no time. You have to keep moving forward. So that's what we've been able to do here, and just blessed to have two good men of faith here that just kind of trust me and trust what we're doing here, and just trust our staff. And so, just to be able to move our lab, as we call it,
Right.
just move our lab here and just help people, just kind of continue to help change their lives.
When we spoke a few months ago, that was one of the things that you talked about a lot was, okay, I know that, there are some men, women, whatever it's going to be, the guy may never be 180 pounds again, or the female may not ever be a size 2 or 4 or 6 or whatever, but let's work towards a goal that's reasonable. Is that a lot of the same philosophy on Strong?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, when you see these women and what they're going through, and it's so funny, and not funny, haha, but so ironic that so many women face the same things in life. They feel guilt, like their mothers. I can't spend an hour for myself.
Right.
Well, why not?
Right.
I mean, if you're wrong and you're not right, then your whole family is not right. And so just those same issues, or the young professional. There's not enough time. I'm not good enough. And you help those women find that inner strength and that attitude adjustment and that attitude change, and their whole lives change, and not just their lives, but their families and their kids and their husbands, and I mean everyone that they're around gets kind of affected. So that's what we love about what we do, is
Right.
that we affect a few people, and those people affect a few more people, and it just grows and grows and grows. And so we're honestly blessed to be a part of helping people change their lives.
Obviously, you've got a great reputation in the world of strength training. You've been at University of Texas, you've been at Tennessee, so your name is out there. How did you become part of this television show, and then walk me through that process?
My director of our national group, he called me because he knew how we are. I mean, as kind of meathead strength coaches, we don't think of going on TV.
Right.
That's not our thing. We want to coach people. We want to grind. We want to do all the kind of dirty work that there is. And so he called me and said, "Hey Benny, if you get a call from NBC, it's not a joke, it's not a hoax,
Right.
just answer the call." And so that's kind of how the ball got rolling. Strong wanted to reach out as far as casting to different different disciplines, not just a coach, not just a trainer, not just a CrossFit guy, but I mean, we have one MMA guy that's there. We've
Right.
we got one boxer that's there. I mean, so different forms of training and kind of how to get there. And so that's kind of how the ball got rolling. Is my collegiate group just reached out to me and said that I'd be probably getting a call.
When did this start? What was the shooting schedule? Just kind of take me through that.
The whole casting process started about February.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it was a long process, interviews after interviews.
February of
2015.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And so Skype, FaceTime, calls, more information gathered. I mean, they really wanted to make sure we were the ones that could kind of represent this show and kind of what it means. We flew out to LA, did an in-person interview. That was in July. They're kind of slowly like weeding us out, and kind of weeding people out. We took a psych test, like an IQ test. I mean, all kinds of things, just
How'd
to
that
make.
come back for you?
I was there, so I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if I'm crazy or not, so I'm not sure. But just they really like vetted, us out and just really kind of narrowed it down. So I feel just really really humbled to be in that tent, because these are really, really good guys at what they do. And so that whole process, once we got to shoot, we started shooting about September or so, and kind of depending on your the time on the show, and that's just kind of how long you were there, at the ranch,
Right.
So it could be up to 3 months.
Where was it filmed?
Out in Malibu.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what was your expectation going into this, into the process of the interview? I mean, were you thinking, I'm going to go out there and I'll interview and I'll get cut and I'll be back in Abilene? Or did you have legitimate hopes that this thing was going to work out the way it has?
Well, for me and all the people that have been around me and people that have poured into my life, all my mentors, all my coaches, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't go out there and think you're not going to make it, or if you're going to be a bear, then be a grizzly.
Yeah.
So I went out with full anticipation that I was going to make it. There's no other reason to go.
Right.
But still being humbled that there were a lot of great guys that they were trying to interview, guys and girls at the time, because we didn't know if it was going to be all male, all female trainers, if it were going to be a split.
Right.
And so there were tons of great men and women out there. So just kind of blessed to be picked, out of out of thousands.
So let's skip ahead. You were paired with a woman from Minnesota. I believe her name is Jill May, I believe.
Jill May.
Was a former collegiate athlete, but is, like you said, a mom, and just didn't feel like she had time for herself. Tell me a little bit about Jill and her transformation and your relationship with her throughout the course of the show.
Jill is probably one of my best friends now. After that much time together, you form a bond, and that's where. And coaching is different than being a trainer. That's why I don't like to call myself a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Coach means I'm going to pour into your life, and I'm going to be invested, and I'm going to care what you do outside of our hour together. And so Jill is probably the most mentally tough woman that I've ever been around.
Really?
Oh yeah, she didn't know it. Coming in, she said her worst attribute was her toughness, her mental toughness. She was 100% wrong. Because she was a tough lady, and so she did the same thing that tons of moms do. You start having babies and you just kind of forget yourself. And so she's got a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 8-year-old.
Wow.
Just babies. For 10 years, you're having babies. So just to kind of get her out of her own way was truly my only goal, because I knew I saw early on that she was pretty tough. She just didn't know it, and so just to kind of help people kind of find themselves. It's a true gift that I get from God.
I'm guessing it changed her life. How did it change? How did that experience change yours?
Well,
Being with her and working with her.
Well, just to really feel moms and women's true pain. They suffer inside. They're torn between what they kind of want to do and what that internal or that instinct says to do,
Right.
So to watch that it's a real struggle.
Right.
It's a real thing. It's not pretend. It's not, I kind of want to take care of my kids, but I kind of want to take care. It's an internal, battle. So to be able to watch that and learn that was the thing that I just really grew from. As far as myself, to tap into my deep dark past, with my dad and all that kind of stuff, you really draw that out, and that comes to play, and I know that's going to help some people get through their tough times and their dark times. I'm a very competitive guy, which I thought, but I'm a little more competitive than I thought, which is cool to see. All the places that I've been have kind of prepped me for this, this show, so it's kind of cool to tap into all the experiences that you've had before, and you think, okay, why did I go through that? Okay, this is why, and you kind of see those things kind of come out. So even being in Abilene, I was brought here to get ready for the show. No other reason that I can really think of, but to be around other, like great women, like great athletes, great people, and help those people train, that really got me ready for the show.
What was the toughest moment, either emotionally or physically, for you and for her?
Ooh, wow, that's a tough question because there were a lot.
Yeah.
There were a lot of physical things that, I mean, I've just not competed that hard
Right.
in 21 years,
Yeah.
you know, and so to know that, you know, it's the thing that I've been coaching all my athletes, you know, like you've got to do it because your teammate, he or she, they're counting on you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my teammate, she was counting on me to perform. So just, there were a lot of challenges that, I mean, she counted on me for strength, you
Right.
know. For her, I mean, I would say, you know, out of the gate, I mean, if you cannot do a push-up and you're having to do these challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and just wait, I can't even explain to you. They're so physically demanding that even if you train for 25 years, they're hard.
Yeah.
She couldn't do a push-up. And so just her, you know, she thought she was like mentally not as strong as she was, but you have to be mentally tough to trust me to tell you that you can do it when there's no way humanly possible that you can.
What about emotionally? 'Cause I know you're an emotional guy. We talked, and like you said, you've got some stuff that you've had to deal with your dad and your family, and we talked about that and wrote about it in the article. Emotionally for you, how was this experience?
It was life-changing, I'll say that. You know, to go and just be isolated, pulled out of your life. Who gets to be pulled out of life
Mm-hmm.
and stuck there for, you know, that length of time, even if it was a month? I mean,
Right.
to be pulled out of your life, no wife, no kids, no job. I mean, there's a lot of time that you get to think about some things, you know, and so I think just being able to have time and kind of journal through those things that was a great time for me, just to journal through my thoughts and my emotions and, you know, like why I'm doing this, you know, I mean, like why did God put me on earth to do this? Well, I mean, he gave me a pretty good plan and kind of picture of what I'm doing.
What did you learn from this show and how you worked with Jill and how you trained with her that has made you better coming back to Abilene?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned from Jill is that most women that I come in contact with have some issue and they want to be great. They just need to know how. They just want a plan, you know, and that's not just women, that's men, that's everybody across the board, but just in this show, like we're dealing with just female like contestants, and of all 10 women, I cannot wait until you see all 10 stories because they're all, I mean, from every walk of life, every kind of woman, whatever kind of woman you can draw up or write up, she's probably like on the show.
Really?
And so you get to see so many different things kind of happen in so many different women's lives. And so I think that was the part that really struck me, is that, I mean, this could have been like my mother or like my sister, or, you know, I mean, so many different things that, you know, just like reach out. There is an issue, help them, and just kind of point them in the right direction, and they'll take over.
So there are a lot of rumors out there that you've done fairly well on this show. I know you can't talk about this, but is this something that is not only life-changing from a lot of perspectives we've talked about, but maybe other opportunities to do things in the future in Hollywood or on TV? Or can you even talk about that yet?
I'm an Abilene, Texas guy. You know, just going out to LA yesterday, you know, it's just like I like it for the short time that I've got to be there. But like I was more worried about on the plane getting back because I had to mow my grass at home, you know. And just, I mean, that's me, you know, like I'm a country boy, and, you know, that's not for me. Now, if I need to go out often, great, but I mean, this is home.